Hello folks and welcome back to Gatekeeper Media's In the Mix. My name is Nick Hanson, your 2022 Polecat World Champ. Alongside me is Isaac Goldblatt. How you doing today?
I'm doing quite well today, Nick. Excited to be back in the booth with you.
Yeah, so we had a great event this past weekend. We were at the Ledgestone Open in Peoria, Illinois. In Peoria, we've got some really good courses. The Northwoods Black course, the Eureka Lake course, and then also the Sunset Hills course is the courses for this weekend.
Yeah, the Sunset Hill course is specifically played by the FPO, and Northwoods Black is which will be played by both fields.
Yes, both fields will be playing that, and the MPO will only be the only ones playing the Eureka course. So taking a step back, we're going to look at some of the previous winners. In 2018, we had Nate Sexton and Jessica Weiss. In 2019, we had Paul Macbeth and Paige Pierce. In 2020, we had Ricky Wysocki and Katrina Allen. And then last year, there was a little bit of, you could say, natural events. Isaac, you were there firsthand. Let's hear a little bit about last year's event.
Yeah, last year, 2021 was a pretty fun event where it was a long weekend, us taking on Northwoods Black and its changes for the first time. There was a lot going on. Those rounds averaged out around 6.5 hours almost. And going on to Eureka, the final day, we had lightning come in, we had rain, there was chances of crazy thunderstorms, so there was a delay, and we were stuck on hole 6 for the longest time waiting for what the outcome and delays would move through. And it ended up getting canceled, that event, and there was a split decision to have the men tie. There was actually a tie that year.
Yes, so our competitors Calvin Heinberg and Ricky Wysocki tied in the MPO division, and Paige Pierce was our winner on the FPO side. Fast forward into this year, however, the pro purse is up to $125,000. Can you believe that?
That's incredible to see. Just only a few years ago that it was under 100,000, and they've been keep bumping it and pushing it.
Yeah, in 2019, actually, the pro purse was $77,000. So that's just telling you how much we've grown in the last, 3 to 4 years alone. Just we're exponentially growing each year, and tournaments like this are able to capitalize that and bring a ton of players to the event.
Specifically, Nate Hanley ran events. This event, Ledgestone, it brings in so many people, the mass market of getting disc golfers, runs a big event, and also gives back to the people.
Yeah.
Say what the...
And speaking of giving back to the people, Nate Arnold and the Ledgestone team donated $150,000 this year. So let's go ahead and just...
That's freaking sick. Give back.
Yeah.
And grow. That's how you know.
So great job there, Nate. I want to thank you personally again. It's incredible what you're doing for our sport, not only on the pro purse side, but also with giving back in, going hand in hand with your event. So good job on that. Let's kick it over to the men's recap, though. The top storylines, were obviously, the co-champions from last year.
Mm-hmm.
Ricky Wysocki coming into would be a 2-time defending champ if you consider
For sure, back to back, he wants to come in and see what's good. Honestly, also we had Kyle Klein last year was fighting really hot from our card, and I know he was like 5 through 5 on the last day. Didn't even get to fight for his chance. I know this year he's going to want to really come after it.
Yeah, he's been definitely bringing the heat this year, I would say. And he has the ability on these courses to, I would say, win. And, it's not just these courses specifically. I would say Kyle has grown in the last couple of years into the person that can win on, a wide open course because he has good power, but he also has control and accuracy for these wood shots here at Northwoods Black we're going to see.
I mean, he's still so fresh, so young. He's setting an example for the game.
Yeah, and another one that's setting an example, Alden Harris actually coming off a win from last week, and I'm excited to see what how he finished here. His first Pro Tour win at the Mid-America Open.
Oh yeah, and he beats out his mentor Gannon, fresh on his heels. I'm sure that was very fun to go home to have that under his belt now.
Yeah, and jumping right into round one, starting off with a very hot round is actually Gannon Burr. And Gannon was on our card to start that round. He came in with 11 under, bogey-free, 1086 to start off the event.
starting off in Eureka, seeing that fresh hot score, it's honestly, we had an amazing card.
Yes, we had a very amazing card. If you haven't seen our card, go check it out on YouTube on our Gatekeeper channel here. That first card was electric. Simon, Chandler Frye. We had just a fun, a fun round overall. There was excitement the entire way through. One, we have Gannon Burr shooting, the hot round, and then we have obviously two. If you haven't seen it already, I'm very surprised, but Chandler Frye getting an ace.
Dang, boy.
So that was our first AceCon coverage this year. So we're very happy about that. It's always fun to film an ace.
On the first day, no less.
Yeah, the first day, hole 7, our lucky number as a team. So we're very excited that. But let's get back into the leaderboard here. Anthony Barella coming in second with a 9 under par.
A 1072 rated.
Yeah, which is pretty stellar as well. A name you don't see very often, but an up-and-comer nonetheless. Kevin Kiefer with a 1065, 8 under rated.
Hey, yeah.
So pretty good there. And we had a couple at 7 down. Tell me about them.
7 down coming in at 1059 rated. We had Bradley Williams, Corey Ellis, Brandon Cawthorn, which is Millennium team sponsored. Hey,
shout out.
And Andrew Presnell, which was our 4th member on our card.
Yep.
Yeah, those were some good.
Yeah, so some good scores there to start the day. But we had quite the action for, the day in general.
Day one, honestly, it didn't stop. I was hearing screams all over the course.
Yeah, so let's talk about that quick. We had 3 aces on the day. How often do you have 3 aces, let alone in a whole Disc Golf Pro Tour event? I would say that is pretty rare.
Oh, freaking rare, especially in a whole event.
Yeah, we got some rare air here, so let's go ahead and talk about them. And there's actually 4 total aces on the day, sorry. Chandler Frye and GT Hancock both getting hole 7. Ezra Aderhold getting hole 12. And Emerson Keith getting hole 17.
Hole 12 is an amazing get. If you guys know, hole 12 is the iconic water hole. You really got to have to really pitch a huge hyzer around there. That's a big bomb splash in the chains.
Yeah, I've watched that shot probably 10 to 15 times now, and I think every single time I just wish there was a catch cam on there.
Yeah, you're just like, I believe you it goes in, but like, it does it though.
Yeah. So good job from them for getting aces. It's always fun to get an ace in a tournament round. It gives you hopefully some good momentum going into your next hole. One other shout out, we have an eagle on hole 16 from Tristan Tanner. You just said it was at 83 feet, so just outside of circle 2.
Really
maybe a throw in.
It's got to be a throw in after maybe a huge roller.
Yeah.
I mean, that's you got to push it around there. You got OB left. You got all the bushes on the right. You can get it all the way down there. Just nice little throw and push it down the hill.
So it's a little downhill. They got the Mando about halfway down. So, my guess is roller.
Definitely roller.
So good job, from those highlights there. And a quick look, the hardest hole on the course was no surprise, hole 6, playing at .87 over par, and only 8 birdies on the day.
Only 8 birdies, well, freaking, they're in for something tomorrow, let me tell you.
Yeah, they need some birdies. And hole 6 really, I think the hardest part is just the second shot. The first shot really for them isn't that hard. It's just a hyzer, and then landing that green from, the 425, 450 that they are, that's really the hardest part, because we saw that if you were getting to the left side of that green, you had the problem of skipping out of bounds.
Yeah, most times when they're setting up for their second shot, they're trying to push it over all the spectators there. I noticed that they were trying to push everybody off to the right side so that they wouldn't get that skip when they would push for getting to the green. But yeah, if they were pushed off to the left a bit more, those skips would go out of bounds. Yeah.
The other thing that I really liked was that the out of bounds if you're looking at the green from the hole, on the right-hand side was not mowed. And so players were not getting a skip out of there, which I really like.
Yeah, it's pushing that, like, you're going to have to play with the elements, and you can't always get that skip that you want.
Yeah, that you would be hoping for, but it really just required a much more pinpoint accurate shot, because you're not able to throw it, 30, 40 feet right of inbounds and then land inbounds because you're throwing this huge power shot with, a 13-speed driver that then, will just give you that 40-foot skip at the end.
Yeah.
So great hole design there, in my opinion, I would say.
A switch up now from the amount of power and that they were pushing out in Eureka is going to be completely different into day 2.
Yeah.
Now going into Northwoods Black, there's a whole lot more shot shaping in Woods Golf. So it's a completely different element. The OBs is going to be something different where you're really just trying to make sure you get your lines rather than just push it down the fairway.
Yeah, Northwood, there's not only tight fairways, but you're also going to have OB lining a lot of the fairways. You're going to have Mandos. There's creeks that run throughout the course. So overall, it's a very tight OB-ridden course, I would say. And we saw that in the amount of OBs this weekend as an overall total going into it. But looking at the end of day 2, we had a 3-way tie, actually.
Yeah, we had 3 people coming in to push it to making a difference on day 2. Right out of the gate, we had Ricky Wysocki, Matt Aurum, and who else? I forget who else shot 7 down, but they pushed it to tie up at 13 down. Ricky, Anthony Barella, and Gannon Burr, which is incredible.
Yeah, so Ricky was going to pop off a 7 down, 1058 rated, to gain traction on Gannon and Anthony Barella. Mm-hmm. Like you said, Matt Aurum, not far off the lead there at 7. And then, the amount of golf that you have to play at Northwoods is, you said last year it was 6 hours, right?
So about 6 hour
and
round.
This year we were probably at 4.5?
4.5.
For the first day, so pretty darn good.
So they didn't really make too many hole changes, but there was a lot of manicuring, making the course. The course looks so much better than it did last year. It's still a beast, but it's not as much showing its teeth. The gaps are more open, the landing areas are more forgiving. In the flow, like we had backups on backups last year where we probably only came up to 1, and it was only after the back 9 that it was much more enjoyable. Our overall filming experience as a crew wasn't getting strenuous, so I can say that the changes that were made for us probably definitely make a difference on the players out there.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And no surprise here, the hardest hole on the course on day 2 was hole 12. It's that par 5 that some of our players have been saying is really a par 6.
It's incredible.
So the hole played on round 2, the first round there, as 1.37 over par, but we had 2 birdies on it, and that was Ben Calloway and Garrett Gurthie.
I remember that one. What is that hole 12?
So hole 12 is the long par 5 that you're gonna shape a shot from left to right, and then you're throwing across that creek to then go uphill to then get to that mouth where you basically have like a 250-foot tunnel to get to the green.
Oh my, those first shots are definitely key because if you can't get around the corner, then you're bending it off. You want to be able to first have a far enough landing shot to push it up to go down that hill. Everyone was that second shot I think is most crucial on that par 5.
Yeah, I would say the MPO players on that second shot are trying to get to where the hill, basically goes flat, 30 or 40 feet before that gap. And if they can get there, they're in a good position. But if you're not there, you want to probably be like 20 feet short of the bottom of the hill, I would say.
For sure. You don't want to go for anything too dangerous because even shooting up into that hill, you have the rough on the right and the left, trees lining the whole thing down that you're going to get bogeys real quickly if you get off the fairway.
Yeah, and as you can tell by the score separation there and, the 1.37 over par, there was plenty of bogeys, double bogeys, and more. But Ben Calloway and Garrett Gurthie, they tackled it on day 1, getting the birdie there, so congratulations to them. And personally, I saw that hole, and I think it's a par 5.
It's a fair par 5.
Very, very difficult par 5. But at the end of the day, there should be holes that are hard to just get par on, and that's okay.
I think that is very much okay.
Like, we don't have to be able to birdie everyone. A birdie can be something that's,
Sometimes birdies are treats.
Yeah.
You gotta feel good about your pars sometimes.
Yeah.
And, like, if you have to work for it, then that's just what it is. Another treat on day 2, Dan Schlitter. We saw Dan. Schlitter, baby. That's some good schlit. When we were walking onto the course for day 2, we see this guy coming up, big old smile, and we were telling him about our great hole 7 ace yesterday, and he's like, hole 7? I got a hole 7 ace today. Man, that guy, after going on hole 7, that's a big one.
Yeah, we got to hole 7 on day 2, and I was like, wait a second, he aced this one? So hole 7 is, I would say, it's dominantly thrown like a flex sidearm.
Yeah, you definitely. That's how he hit it. You really got to be able to, hyzer flip it out to even hope that it's going to dump back in, because the way that those trees S-line down the fairway, it just
sets up perfectly for that ready flex.
Yeah, people are trying to push a turnover out there, but they find themselves off in the left-hand rough because there's no time to turn that, and by the time that it's coming back in, there's way too many trees.
Right. And would you say that the right gap for right-hand hyzer is available if you as a poke and hope?
It's definitely there as a poke and hope. I think Andrew Presnell was the only one to make it through. If you check out our coverage, or I forget, if not Presnell, but someone on day 2 was the only one to push it through.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So, as you can see, some of these par 3s even at the Northwoods course are not really gimmies by any means to even get your par out there. So, congratulations to Dan on the ace. As always, aces are great.
Aces are great.
We love aces. And you should too. But let's move on to day 3. So, day 3, we were once again back at Northwood. And Ricky is, no surprise, going to be leading after day 3.
He's still holding it down. Ricky's going to come in with a 6 down. I don't know if anyone really shoots any hotter than him.
I think there was somebody hotter down below, in the 8 or 9 range. But nobody within the top 10 that really popped off.
No one enough to make a difference in when the cut's coming in. The people who are left in, you're making a difference on the last, on Northwoods, you want to make sure that you make that cut line. And Ricky had no problem doing that.
Yeah, obviously Ricky has no problem making the cut line. That 6 down is going to propel him into the lead, though. Barella and Burr not far behind, though, shooting 5 down on the course, which is very respectable. We're still looking in that 1040 range, and you're shooting 1040s, you're very happy with yourself. You're putting yourself in a position to win, and you're putting yourself in the position to, podium, if not be within the top 5. So following that up, we had Matt Aurum at 17, Paul Macbeth at 16, Kyle and Randon from our card. They played well at 3 under par, and both of them scrambled, I would say, a little bit to get there, but both overall played very well on the day.
They played very well. It was Randon's first time on our card on day 3, and he made some highlights for sure. If you check out that coverage, you want to look at hole 9. Man, does he pump it up there? Gets up his upshot. Freaking huge 70-footer. Let me tell you, you're going to want to see that.
We had some sick action on that card. And Kyle Klein coming in at 12 under par, also shooting a 3 down. So we have quite the battle, after day 3.
Yeah, coming in hot, everybody, the scoreboard's tight, and people are going to make a run. Definitely.
Yeah, those 5 players at the top of our leaderboard after day 3 can really do anything on the course. They all have the shots. They all have the ability. I don't foresee Rick, giving up a multiple stroke lead, but only a 1-stroke lead. Definitely could be compromised.
Yeah.
Especially at Eureka.
At Eureka, it's still challenging. You're going to be fighting those OBs. Speaking of OBs, actually, not even OBs, but bogeys. Round 3, there was no bogeys last year in 2021 at Northwoods.
No bogey-free rounds.
No bogey-free rounds. And coming out of the round 3, we actually saw 2 MPO players have bogey-free rounds.
And that is honestly just incredible to hear. from that course.
From that course, how much, even though I say it's not showing its teeth as much, it's a hard course. Like it's props to these gentlemen, Andrew Marweed and Isaac Robinson, coming out of those course day 3, leaving their mark. They're leaving that course, and they know that they went bogey free. That's impressive.
Yeah, that track bogey free is very, very impressive. So shout out to them. Congratulations. And once again, on day 3, no surprise here, hole number 12 playing as the hardest hole in the course. 1.18 over par. I still am in my firm belief that this is a par 5. And
yeah, I think that's fair.
And I think it's a fair par 5. It's very technical, very hard, but it's there. And we did get one birdie out of it as well on day 3. Albert Tam.
The bazooka. He just shot it up there. That's why.
Yeah, I believe that.
I believe it.
Probably like dropped it in from like 6 feet for birdie.
It's like, yeah.
Yeah, I could see that one happening. So moving into round 4, the cut was made at 50%. And to make the cut, you had to be shooting 1020 rated golf.
The field has changed. This is like a next upper echelon of golfers out here. Like, if you want to be up there shooting 10-20, that's something else.
Yeah, 10-20 is making the cut and cashing at these Pro Tour events, when I believe last year it was really usually in that 10.05 to 10.10 range that was cashing.
Cashing, yeah.
So
it's a whole nother level.
You got to be playing, on average, a stroke to a stroke and a half better per round to cash nowadays, which is just incredible, and it's really showing where the sport is going in terms of athletes that are entering our sport, and also just our players that are perfecting their game and, you know, being more consistent on a week in and week out basis, wouldn't you say?
For sure, definitely. The consistency is what shows. Honestly, I just saw a stat recently that Paul Macbeth has gone like 12 events without like a DGPT win or something of the sort. And so like the consistency is it's immense, that like there's so many people out here that are fighting day in and day out. The echelon of players are up there. Like it's noticeable. Yeah,
it's no longer the Paul and Ricky show. It's anybody, any weekend.
Yeah,
can really, you know, anybody within the top 30 rating points can pop one off and have a weekend of 4 rounds and be the best player that weekend, I would say.
Like, I mean, this track could certainly hold 2 events at Eureka and Ledgestone, but I mean, the fact that we have this between the two really shows a full rounded type of golfer.
Yeah. And as we get into round 4, we'll talk about a couple things. Matt Bell acing hole 7 on the day.
Another one.
Especially for that guy. He's had so many aces this year, I feel like.
Another one.
What do we get? I think he got one just this, the weekend prior.
Yeah.
At a tournament. He got one here.
Another one.
He got one
DDO.
for, $25,000.
Cash money ace. Now, honestly, like, there's nothing like hitting the cash money ace.
Like, does he just have the ace magic, you think? Or?
I may have to just freaking just rub some off of it.
Yeah, I mean,
think so.
Man, I might need to get like a rub from your bag or something. I need some of that luck on my side.
That luck.
Congratulations to another ace. A couple eagles on hole 16. Ezra Aderhold and Kevin Jones. Congratulations there. And the hardest hole on the course was hole 5, playing at .57 over par. That one is the baseball field hole, where if you go out of bounds, you go to a drop zone that is significantly hard, I would say, to get up and down for your par. Like, you can throw out of bounds again. You get sometimes nervous throwing it long because there's OB deep once you're there.
That day in particular, it was a little bit windy going over the baseball field, and not usually on day 1, but on the last day, people are going to really push it. Most times people play nice and safe. You can go pitch to the right, pitch up, try and get your par. But people are really gonna try and push it over, and yeah, you're gonna have some wind push you out, and too many people go to the drop zone.
Yeah, we had 3 birdies on the day, however. Kevin Jones, Calvin Heinberg, and Brody Smith. So congratulations to those 3 birdies.
Hey, yeah.
But let's take a look at our leaderboard, and Ricky Wysocki winning by 4 strokes at 26 under par and 7 down on the round. really having one of the hot rounds.
Man, he was coming in hot. We were checking in. We were finishing up our round with the chase card, and I saw that he took like a double, and he was dropping down, and I'm like, whoa, he lost some strokes, but he was still above 2. He was coming in hot. He was feeling good.
Yeah, so Paul McBeth jumping up from the chase card to get second place at 22 under par and shooting 6 under. Gannon Burr taking third, Anthony Barella taking fourth, and a couple ties for fifth. Corey Ellis actually with 10 down, final day, hot round.
Man, that guy.
That's incredible at that course.
That's incredible.
Very well done, gentlemen. Once again, congratulations to Ricky Wysocki on what is now 3 championships in a row.
Back to back to back.
Let's go, Rick.
Let's go, Rick.
I feel like it's hard not to be a Rick fan.
It is hard not to be a Rick fan, but I'm sure there's people out there.
There's plenty.
You know what? Just enjoys golf, man.
There is plenty. So if we dive into some of the player stats here, tee to green gain was won by Ricky, obviously. However, it was only over Mike McBeth by 0.27, so a pretty slim margin
pretty dang
there.
Close, yeah. McBeth, on last round, you're always going to see a push. And if Rick wasn't going to win, we would have liked to see a Paul McBeth chase card win.
Oh.
Let's tell you.
I feel like everybody doesn't want to see that except us.
Nah, it's just us. It is just
like
us. But maybe we can get you guys to want that too.
Yeah, I think you guys should, push for the action, and once in a while somebody's got to come up and be an underdog.
Someone's got to come up and be like, "Whoa, he already won!" And you'll see it. You'll see it, and we'll have it.
We'll be there waiting for you when it's ready. So, Andrew Marweed, 2 weeks in a row, leading in putting gained and C1X at these Pro Tour events. He is an absolute putting machine these days.
You're saving your bogey-free rounds with some putting, let me tell you.
Yeah, right? So, congratulations to him for that. Ricky leading the field with only 3 OB strokes on the weekend. I would say with the amount of OB at both these courses, that is very impressive.
Very impressive. That's what makes the difference in adding strokes to most of these folks.
Right. The average of OB strokes amongst the top 10 was 7.64 strokes.
7.
So he's right there, gained 4 strokes on the rest of the top 10, and that right there was the difference.
It is the difference maker
between him and Paul McBeth. I don't think Paul McBeth had 7 OB strokes, but just as an example, most of them were, that's around the average, and that would put them tied, and we could have had a playoff.
Playoffs are fun.
Playoffs are great.
We're golf guys.
So that's going to wrap up our NPO coverage from Ledgestone, and let's move over to the FPO coverage.
So we're going to come in, FPO side. Round 1, day 1 is going to be in Northwoods. We have Kristen Tatar, it's amazing to see her coming back since her injury. She's going to be feeling refreshed, wanting to come back, take a title down. And we also have Paige Pierce. Tell us about Paige Pierce.
So Paige Pierce, I don't know if you guys know her or not. If you don't, you should look her up. But defending champ, and she's also won 5 times in 13 starts at this event. So
this is her event.
I would say she feels very comfortable here, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if those 2 that we just mentioned are battling at the end of the 4th round.
I would like to see that.
After Champions Cup, I think everybody wants to see that more and more. Katrina's always been a good player, and she's been battling with Paige, but I think we're really seeing this, Kristen and, Paige battle this year more than anything else.
For sure. We never know what may come down through Worlds. There's so many women in the field, but this is Kristen's year. If she can stay healthy, she can really fight for it. Yeah,
so I did hear that, she is still working through elbow pain. She talked to doctors, and it is manageable to get through the season. So that's what she's going to do, is just manage her pain and get through the rest of the season, and then kind of take care of it within the off season, which makes sense.
Yeah, it's smart.
It's really good to take time off to actually figure out what's going on. So that way, you can either come back stronger, or you just figure it out. And as she did, she figured out that she can play through it if she can tolerate the pain. And after round 1, she looks like she didn't have any issues there, shooting 1,003 rated round. incredible at 5 under par. Lisa, Fakis, and Missy Gannon, though, not far off at 4 under.
Not far off at all.
And then, no surprise here, the Monda Hondas, close behind.
Close behind at 3 down, and then 2 down is Alexis and Katie Toddy.
Yeah.
That's coming through. I mean, they play a different rendition of Northwoods. It's they're Northwoods shorts, but that course still has teeth, and it's still, there's plenty of trees and lines to fight.
Yeah, so it is shorter by a ways. However, it's still very, very technical, I would say. And obviously, it's not going to be comparatively in distance. It's, like what their averages are going to be. So, like, for them, it's still going to be almost like how Northwoods Black plays for the MPO division, I would say.
For sure.
And, one of our hardest holes comes in at .78 over par. It was hole 18, which is not surprising. It's kind of just like this 90-degree shot where they're throwing one long shot, then they're throwing one long shot that's also a tunnel and a little bit elevated.
Yeah, and that second shot it's definitely specific. If you don't know how to pitch up your shot up the hill, you can get off the fairway real quickly, and having to fight through some trees on 18 is not a fun way to walk off. Yeah,
there's a lot of times on this course specifically that if you're on the fairway but just off it a little bit, you're in these small lines of trees.
Don't be a hero.
Where you want to try and hit these gaps, but you really just need to pitch out and just pitch out and pitch down the fairway and go because
they're that hard. And so hard that there was only one FPO player to get a birdie on hole 18. It's your girl, Kristen Tatar.
No surprise there.
No surprise there.
She throws far. Her sidearm's been looking better than ever. And you really need both at Northwood.
No, for sure. If you're going to be able to push it through those gaps, push it through those lines.
So hole 1 was the next hardest hole, coming in at .74 over par. So I feel like this one might be like a little bit of a tweener for the women because they play the same hole as the men, also as a par 3, I believe.
Yeah, it is a par 3 for them. Definitely makes it much harder for them. But I feel like this is I don't think it needs to be a par 4 for the women.
Right.
It's difficult enough where it pushes, and there are those hard holes that there has to be sometimes.
Yeah, for any of the women in the top 30 can throw 2 mid-ranges, I would say, and get up and down for par.
Definitely.
There's also a good majority of the women that I think could throw a fairway driver or driver and get within circle 1 or circle 2 to have a
setting up a circle 2 for sure.
But is it worth that risk when the hole's already playing over par? And I think for a lot of them, they probably said no.
I would probably say, that they go no. But if you're on day 2 or whatever it is on the day 3 later, you're going to fight for that.
Yeah.
Try and push it.
Yep. If you need to push it, you can. And, as we saw it playing over par, and, they're going to be pushing as much as they can at this, at this level. Like, a lot of these players can throw these shots. And so I feel like we're going to see that when we get back there for the final day. So rounding out round 1, we had an ace, and it was somebody's first ace.
Hey, yeah, first ace on hole 11. Who is it?
It was Erica Stitchcomb.
That's a novelty. Freaking getting a first ace during a tournament round, that feels freaking great.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first ace?
I do remember my first ace. It was at Tudhill Park in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. It was hole 1, and it was a green ESP Meteor.
Meteor? Oh, that's
little turnover shot, just butted right into it. Yeah. Do you remember your first ace?
I do. My first ace was with a Millennium Draco. Hey, yeah. And that was during a tournament. I got paid out. That was freaking great. It was in the middle of the winter. Freaking just pushed out a big old flick. Probably similar to Erica's. Nice, just pushed it out, let it come back in. Splash.
Bang.
Bang.
Congratulations on the ace.
Great job, Erica.
So once again, day 1 was full of aces. 5 total aces out of our 2 fields.
Aces in your faces.
You gotta be happy about that, I would say.
I'm happy about it.
I'm happy for him, and I didn't even get to witness most of them.
Yeah.
So we're moving on to round 2, and round 2 is going to be at Sunset Hills. It's going to be on a golf course where for all the women, I would say that all the holes are birdieable.
Definitely. It's a manageable course. It's much more open. The women have played here before. There's not too many changes. And coming out here, we have many of the women shooting pretty hot. Up on the top, Missy Gannon at an 8 down, which is above 1,000 rated. Amazing when the women come out and shoot above 1,000 rated.
Yeah, so that 8 down actually propelled her to the lead after day one at 12 under par.
After that, we have Lisa Fakis at a 6 down, Kristen Tatar a 4, and then Paige Pierce actually shot the I think that was the hot round.
Yes.
That was a freaking amazing hot round at a 9 down. But after working with the tough Northwoods, it helped push her back to get in fighting contention.
And honestly, I would say it's no surprise to see her pushing up to the top this early in the tournament because, you know, this is a tournament she's played very well at. And, I mean, it's hard to count her out.
No, you can never count Paige Pierce out. Like as much as, like, she wants more and more and more. You can't count her out. She's gonna keep getting more and more and more. And
she just has that switch where she can just turn it on, and when she's on, like, good luck.
Yeah.
If she has a lead, like, you're toast. And if you got a slight lead on her, like,
she'll make you work for it.
She's gonna make you sweat. So, finishing out the top couple players after round 2 was a -5 from Hanley. And what did she do?
Dang, what did she do? She threw in.
Oh, on hole 6 today for an albatross. I don't know if it was confirmed, but I heard on the coverage that they were talking about this might be the first FPO albatross in, like, Pro Tour history.
Yeah, I think that's also, I heard the same thing. And congrats to Holly. She freaking smashes.
Yeah. First off, somebody asked me earlier in the week if they thought that hole was soft then. And I was like, get out of here with that. She threw it like what? Like a 4 something and then 3 something?
No, yeah.
And then a water carry to the green? Like,
you can't mess with like a woman who knows how to crush.
Yeah, she's one of the first throwers on tour, I would say. Would you agree?
Yeah.
And so it's no surprise seeing her name next to that accolade because, you know, when you can, because there was a lot of players that were throwing their first shot and then laying up before that water and not going for the green, whereas some of these big arms are able to go for that green. And she rung it up one time.
She's got the form. She's got the mental. She'll push it. I like it.
So over there, hole 15 actually played as the hardest hole. Not terribly hard, but at 0.2 or at 0.42 over par. So within a half a stroke of par is, I feel like always a good hole.
Yeah, it's so hard that there's only 5 birdies the first day out at Sunset.
Yeah, out of a pretty large field.
Yeah, definitely a larger field. It's impressive to see such a large field of women out there.
Yeah, I feel like every week or every month per se, the tournaments are getting larger in terms of pay and all those things, more spectators. But we're also having a larger field for the FPO month in and month out. Each year. And it's incredible and it's awesome to see for them because we're really starting to see the competition unfold. And we're just like the MPO field, we're seeing more athletes come into the sport, and we're just seeing a lot more names up within that top 10, top 15 of the FPO field. And so congratulations to them. It's awesome to see it because, that's what they want. They want more competition. They want to, be tested week in and week out by, not only one person, but multiple people within the Pro Tour, I would say. So after round 3, we had a tie at the top. Paige with another hot round, coming in with a 7 down, 1,001 rated to tie Missy Gannon, who shot 3 down. And going into the final day, they're going to be tied at 15 under par.
It's looking pretty similar to last year. Coming in hot. Like there's a lot of rivalry, a lot of animosity, but they love each other. They're gonna fight hard.
Yeah, I feel like they're good friends, but once they're on the course, you're
gonna make it worth.
They're trying to win.
Definitely.
They're trying to best themselves, and at the same time, hopefully that's good enough to set them over the top and be the winner. Like, we play the game to win.
Definitely.
So after that, at 11 under par. So 4 strokes back, plenty of room to work at Northwoods. We have Sarah Holcomb, who shot a 5 down on the day, and then Kristen Tartar, who shot a 2 down. So still there within contention to go get it on the last day at Northwood, I would say. Anything within 6 strokes.
You never know when more tightly wooded, especially Northwood, but within 6 strokes, I'd say is
you have a chance.
You have a chance.
And so Lisa Fakis shot even on the day, but that's going to leave her at 10 under par. Owen Scoggins shot 6 down on the day. Great round
Smooth
out of her,
putter.
moving her up to 8 under par on the event. 7 off the lead. And then we had a couple 7 under totals with Katrina Allen, Madison Walker, and Holly Finley. So we still have some room to work. I would say there's kind of probably only 4 names that come to mind when I would predict a winner after day 3, I would say.
Yep.
But at that course, it's anyone's game. We did have 3 eagles on hole 6, which was Katrina Allen, Paige Pierce, and Natalie Ryan. So congratulations on those eagles. And hole 15 was no birdies today.
No birdies after having 5 on day 2. It really shows you how hard it is day 3.
So the changing of not only weather, but maybe different play style because it's the 3rd day. Some of those players that got it the day before maybe aren't pushing as hard because they want to stay where they're at. There's a lot of factors that go into it.
Definitely.
But to see no birdies,
Playing some smart golf, hopefully
playing some smart golf. But the course also showing that not every hole is birdieable, like I was saying.
No, and not every hole should be birdieable, and that's just how the game is played.
Yeah, I don't personally want to see 12, 14 down rounds all the time. Sure, once in a while, but for the majority, I would love to see players in the 2 over to 2 under par for the hot scores. And I think that's somewhere we can get to in disc golf, but maybe that's just not what disc golf is either. And I think we're going to find that out as we grow in the next 10 years.
It's an evolution.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm just riding this wave.
So on to round 4. Once again, top 50% make that, and the top 50% consisted of people shooting over 945 rated golf, which I haven't looked at recent cuts this year, but to me that sounds high.
I mean, the women's level is certainly higher. I mean, the threshold has exponentially grown, and to see even now all these European women come over here, they're shooting at much higher rated levels, and I feel like it's pushing the FPO field in general.
It's awesome to see that we're having this kind of competition just kind of grow together as the field is growing, and we're seeing it here just firsthand with that number. I feel like at 945 rated in years past, you were able to win A tiers.
Yeah, and now if you're barely getting through half the field, it's
just incredible to see, I would say.
Definitely.
So we are at Northwoods for the final day with that 50%. The hardest hole on the course, no surprise here, coming in at hole 18 at plus 0.8 over par. The second hardest hole, hole 1 again, with 0.76 over par. And then the next one I want to bring up is hole 14 at plus 6.8 over par. So one of the par 5s there. And really it just shows that this course is very, very difficult to navigate.
It has layers for sure. That hole 14 definitely probably even played much harder last year. It's surprising that it's only 3rd now. I would have thought that was probably the hardest hole before we came into this event. That had the most change, I think, between right off the tee pad. Their gap is larger, the landing area is larger. So if you can get out to set up for your second, now probably 3rd shot for the women, it's doable, but definitely still hard.
Yeah, and I can agree with you more. Like, you could see how much was cleaned out and how much the fairway had actually widened for this year compared to where it had been, maybe months prior or, in, like you were saying, years prior for sure. Whereas it was so tight that that hole was, hard to get off the tee on. Whereas now it's not, easy by any means to get off the tee, but you're able to get a shot to the corner and then take 2 shots down the,
down the gaps,
down the main fairway to get up and down for your birdie. And just like a lot of these holes have just really good layout to them where you're not like throwing driver off the tee. Even for the women, they're throwing a shorter shot and then, potentially a long shot if they want to force it, but they're able to throw just short shot, and then have the ability to get their birdie. So, and I feel like that's how golf should be.
Yeah, golf doesn't always have to have birdieable holes. I feel like golf has opportunities of just pushing the par,
Yeah.
and like these holes are a bit harder. It sets different types of tones.
Yeah. And these holes specifically on that point all played at par or worse, and there was actually no birdie on these holes that last day.
I mean, what's hard?
I would say these courses here, they're some of the hardest courses we're going to see all season. It's good to see them right before Worlds, I would say, kind of get everybody's mental game really honed in.
Shake them up a little bit.
Yeah, see where they're at mentally. So just incredible to see like where the courses have come. And, let's take a look at our leaderboard here. Missy Gannon coming out on top with a 4 under on the day, 985 rated round to finish at 19 under par.
She came back.
She did come back. She was down.
She's like, that second place win.
She was down for a little bit that last round, came back to win. I think she was down 1 or maybe tied at worst, but she was always very close. I mean, all weekend after the first day, she was either, at the end of the day, she was either in the lead or tied for the lead. So from the second round on, Missy Gannon was on fire. She was putting well. She was doing all the things you need to do within the woods to not only manage her game, to manage mistakes, but also just to get the birdie she needed. Owen Scoggin coming in second place with a 5 down on the day, jumping up from what I believe was chase card to finish at 13 under on the round, or 13 under on the event. We have Lisa Fakis, Kristen Tartar, and Paige Pierce all tying at 12 under par. And then, do you want to round out the rest of the leaderboard for us?
We're going to have Alexis Mandohano, who had a 7 down that round, a 10.08. That's freaking impressive. But for the event, she'll finish at 10 down, solo. Tied at 9 down will be Katrina Allen and Madison Walker. Solo at 8 down would be Katie Toddy. And finishing out at 6 down is Holly Hanlon and Sarah Holcomb.
So there's our top 10 finishing. It's great to see some new faces, some familiar faces, and just to see how far the women's has come. I mean, our second place is the Masters World Champion this year.
Hey, man, you can't mess with her. She's probably gonna come back and try and win Masters.
Could you
not Masters twice, but I mean
if
Worlds.
She wins Worlds,
2 Worlds,
in
Masters
1 year?
Worlds, double World. Has that ever been done?
You can do it, Owen. I believe.
I believe in Owen.
So that's gonna be our final round of the FPO. Once again, congratulations to Missy Gannon. On the weekend, she averaged 989 golf to win. That is incredible. She's pushing the bar week in and week out, not only for herself, but the rest of her competitors, and saying, hey, this is what I'm doing, and if you want to win, you're going to have to beat me.
Yeah.
She's been up there numerous times this year.
Numerous times,
It's her first big win of the year, but she's been competing.
She's fighting.
She's a fighter.
Yeah.
Great putter. So some stats from the players. No surprise here. Owen led all putting categories.
Go home.
C2, C1X, putting gained.
I see you.
Do you?
Yeah, I see
Here
you.
I am.
Here I am. I see you.
And leading our tee to green was actually Katie Toddy, who was actually only 0.01 over Missy Gannon. So not surprised to see Missy's name up within these stats here that UDIS provides for us, because she obviously won the event. Congratulations though to Deanne Carey and Raven Klein on no OB on the weekend.
The whole weekend.
All weekend, no OB.
Dang, girls. Dang.
Way to keep it in bounds.
Way to keep it in bounds.
And Missy Gannon only having 2 OB strokes on the weekend.
I mean, that's how you win.
That is how you win. As well as her competitors in the top 10, they all averaged over her amount of strokes, OB. The average for our top 10 FPO was 5.18 OB strokes. So about 3 strokes over what Missy did, and it just shows that there's a lot of OB on these courses. Even the people in the top 10 are going to go OB, and you just need to overcome your mistakes.
If you can fight through your mistakes and fight through that, keep them level head, your mental game will be sound.
Yeah, it's a game of inches, strokes, and it's not going to be perfect. It's not always going to be pretty, that's for sure.
Strokes on folks.
But if you're out here and you keep heating, stroking, and stroke out, like Missy did this weekend, you're gonna come out on top with these events. And proud of her, and proud of where all of our competitors have come from. So it's fun to watch. I'm glad we're here for it. And wrapping up, what do we have this week?
Hey, we're gonna introduce to you Isaac's Weekend Wowzer. We had a heck of a wowzer this week.
We sure did.
And wowee, was it tossed. We have Chandler Frye on hole 7.
7, baby.
7. That baby, I was behind the catch cam on
Whoa, let's watch this.
Can we watch that?
And then we'll talk about it.
Let's
watch this
Can
first.
we watch it together?
One time. Bring it up. Got it.
Oh, so good.
This guy.
When your card is yelling that stuff behind you, you get so hyped.
Yeah, you're just like, wait. Yeah, I did good. Yeah.
And then here's your angle. Let's talk us through it.
Right there, I knew it was going in. I just wanted to hold that. When all this adrenaline's hitting me, I know that I just got to make sure that I hold that shot. Like, those shots are what everyone else is going to be watching for the moments to come. Chandler's going to appreciate it. Like, that was just a beautiful shot that needs to be captured.
Are you shaking or anything? Or
all up here.
Have you pushed those emotions out?
I pushed those out. Like, I've gotten to the point where, my first event was freaking Casey White throwing in the tilt shot. So, I've had a few under my belt, and I can add that one to the resume, and I'm not going to say that they dole down any bit, but that was...
How about shout-outs on close calls off drives this weekend?
Close calls on drives.
Who's pushing you?
I'll tell you one in particular. Close call on hole 14. We had an amazing... Simon wanted to throw it in. I know he did. We were at Eureka. It was a big... I think it was his approach after his drive. It came out. I was behind the basket. It hits the sun, and I see it. I'm going to hold my shot. And then I just know, oh my, this is going to hit me. And so I move. And it goes past me, and he sets up for a freaking wild birdie.
Yeah, he set up for a long look there. He ran the look. Unfortunately, no go. But, hey, way to get up there. And that's your Isaac's Weekend Wowzer. And
that's my Weekend Wowzer.
Your close call from the catch cam. Up next, we have the True Bank Des Moines Challenge, presented by Discraft. It's at Pickard Park, just south of Des Moines. And I'm excited for the event. It's a great park-style course. It's going to have some OB here and there. It's going to have some ponds. We're going to probably lose a disc here and there. But overall, it should be a good weekend, I would say.
Yeah, definitely a good weekend. Who do you think you got a good feeling for this weekend?
So here's our next thing we're gonna add, and that's gonna be, we're gonna start having picks of the week for our next event. And my pick and prediction, you heard it here first, folks. I pick Gannon Burr to come out on top this week. We're in his home state of Iowa. He's been absolutely shredding this year, and one of these weekends, he's going to win by 8 strokes, I promise you.
Honestly, I really like that. I was thinking a bit more along the lines of who's going to get their 3rd win this year, and I think Simon's going to get his 3rd win this year. But I think Gannon is a good chance 2nd, but I want to see Simon take number 3. Take it down.
Yeah, so is that your final answer?
That's my final answer. Lock it in.
All right, so predictions for next week are me with Gannon Burr and Isaac with Simon Lazat. We'll see how that works out. We'll catch you on the next episode of In the Mix. We thank you for liking and subscribing. And Isaac, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Nick. Keep banging them chains.